Here we go. All right, back with Tim and Andrea. How are we doing?
It's Friday.
It's Happy Friday, right?
It's Friday. The sun came out.
Yay!
And, we're excited. It's not really exciting. It's not the right word, but we're hoping to increase curiosity why there are still many cabins here in Seattle Parks.
And the way this came up is that you said, Sean, I got a couple of cabins you need to see.
Well, it's trending right now. It's trending right now. In reality, these cabins have been here for over 6 years.
Okay.
And we housed both the gentlemen that lived in these cabins 4 years. They're in the same apartments.
Wow.
That we got them into a couple years ago. They're both two guys that were during the pandemic and went, yeah, sure. Kind of say this. And they're in the same house, solid ground and they're in housing. They're working for Uplift Northwest, contributing members of society.
Okay.
The only reason why they live in these cabins is because they were allowed to. Dangerously, though, they're still here and people are squatting in them. And we have written dozens of emails to city attorney's offices, to the mayor's office, to Queen Anne Community Council. Everybody has heard we start scream out loud that this is a ticking time bomb waiting to happen.
Another one.
No response.
Another one.
No response. But since it's trendy to talk about cabins and parks, we thought we'd have you out here today.
Why not? Thanks for having me, and let's go see what we find. Okay. Did you ever hear anything more from Steve?
Well, his mom has been in touch.
Yep.
She said, please don't reconnect us with him, sadly.
Okay. All right.
Makes me wonder who sent him here to begin with.
I was kind of afraid of that.
How did he get here?
Yeah.
She says it's been drugs. So everybody that's saying that this is high rent.
Yeah.
This man came from Mississippi. His family disowned him. And it's methamphetamines. Hopefully the jail system will say stay in jail for 6 months or go to inpatient for 6 months. And he has a choice to pick one or the other. That's not a mandate. It's a choice. One or the other.
And I wonder if they'll tell him he can't be around excavators.
Oh, what's great. And this is actually a tactic. There was a person that got a restraining order against a wild man that lived in a tent over in Wedgwood. And after all failed avenues, he actually got a restraining order against a crazy person that refused to leave and the city refused to move. And through a restraining order, he cannot return to that block without being arrested. And same thing with Steve Irwin is the parks got a restraining order.
You mentioned that.
And they cops will arrest on what's called a violation of this is called a stand back order.
Okay.
So if you violate your stand back order, you will get arrested.
So if he shows up, he could get arrested. He'd be out there.
And you might only spend a day or two in jail, but you get tired of that and you start to maybe not come back to a Seattle Parks recreation.
That's the kind of pushback that Seattle needs to have.
Yeah, and I don't mean to sound like a compassionate outreach worker, but anybody that's in recovery will tell you it was that in my, annoying arrest over and over again. And it's not incarcerate forever. It just means stop now.
Right.
And then after a while, maybe it's 10, 15 times, that person finally decides, I do have a wife and kids. I used to work. And we're starting to see people surface and tell that story.
I have a family back in Mississippi. Whatever.
Tim just found a not appropriate word, but a person in Soto who interest. We reconnected with her mom, who lives in Walla Walla, and she said all my daughter needs to do is go through the 5-day detox, and she can come back home. That's it. Reconnect people with family.
Yeah, that's pretty forgiving because a lot of people are like, you need to prove to me you are not a.
It's true. It just depends on but you at least have to try.
For sure.
50-50 chance there's somebody inside this room.
Okay.
I've seen some fresh footmarks going down this room.
Let's not go to that one first. That one's really dangerous to get to. But what I want to point out is we cleaned litter here a couple years ago and found two gentlemen, Jacob and Morgan, living here for years. In fact, Morgan was buried under a mudslide at one point for hours and dug himself out.
That's insane.
This slope is the northwest Queen Anne slope of Queen Anne, and has been a part, has had erosion in the past. we housed them. We paid for some rental assistance. We got their documents in order. They're now working for Uplift Northwest, doing graffiti abatement. The 2 men that live in these cabins are doing graffiti abatement for the city.
So we're going to one right now?
Right. It's still here. Why? And it's been...
And it's been so long. Yeah.
Of course, city policy doesn't allow other agencies to go on slopes.
Yeah, explain that to us. And just for the viewers, we are on the southwest side of Queen Anne, or the west side of Queen Anne.
Southwest Queen Anne.
We are literally looking out to Puget Sound, Olympic Mountains out there, and Queen Anne. So think we are to the north and west of the Space Needle by a mile plus,
About a mile.
something like that.
This urban hiking trail connects from Lower Queen Anne's off-leash dog park, the tennis courts, all the way to the north. This urban hiking trail was intended to connect Upper Queen Anne to the waterfront, and for years it's been uninhabitable by everybody else because of the 15 to 20 live abandoned revolving door encampments that are all up and down this greenbelt. We know everybody by name. We've put 100,000+ pounds of trash. We've found passed away bodies. This park just had prior gone through like a $3 million renovation by the Friends of Kinnear Park, and they gave up. They totally gave up, and then we came along and they're like, yeah, good luck. They don't believe us, but housing is possible. You have to hustle for housing. And what I'm here to continue to report and expose is these cabins stay here. There's no accountability and follow-up when we've said this person's housed. Remove their cabin before some young person.
Get rid of it.
Get rid of it.
Make it no longer available.
Yeah. People can't use this. So we were going to talk about the policy.
Your ability to clean up steep sloped areas that the city won't.
The city of Seattle is built on 7 hills, with the city of 7 hills. So all of the beautiful green spaces and urban hiking trails, McLean, the north and east Duwamish trails, the Eagle's Nest, and all of this environmental activity is on slopes, including camping and garbage, and what are called MDARS, multi-department rules. There's 2 very strict policies that no city agency can go on slopes to clean or do outreach unless it's a very specific project. I'm sure increase, liability insurance and things like that. But that's where Seattle fills the gaps, is we go on slopes and we go within 20 feet of tent. And why I can't imagine we're the only ones actually finding passed away bodies, but we've found 12 in a couple of years.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Because we go here on slopes.
A slope, what determines that?
We are literally on a pretty...
But percentage-wise?
20%. We had a huge group of waste management contractors come up on us last year, and they said, we're the spoiled city workers. We can't go. You have to bring the bags and hike up there. So on the backs of 12,000 hours of volunteer labor and backs, we've hauled out 1.1 million pounds of trash out of the very green belts that, as an example, that we're standing in today. Private, friction-free, grassroots donations. So individual contributors, so yeah, let's go check out this cabin.
Okay. Yep, sounds good.
Welfare check. Welfare check. We housed Morgan about 2 years ago, and he was very thankful to see us. Super nice guy. He built this cabin. It's got a patio, barbecue, had a tiled kitchen.
You know what, Andrea? I've got a really bad signal.
Okay.
I think I'm just going to end the live stream, and I'm just going to shoot regular video. Guys, we've got a terrible signal. We've got a terrible signal. I can see that it's a bad picture. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to end this live stream, and I'm just going to shoot regular video for this. So I've got an extender, but we're literally on the side of a hill and I'm not sure what the deal is. So sorry about the live stream, but I'll put this up tonight. You guys can kind of see what we're working with. All right. Let me just